Another episode of Fashion News, another episode of Fashion News, Fashion News, Fashion News, Fashion News. Let's go.
This is Bags and Lifestyle. Thank you for watching my video. My name is India, so I hope you stick around and also consider liking as well as subscribing to my channel. Every month I do fashion news topics, and so here we are in January, so we got to do another fashion news topic. So first up is going to be Farfetch. Now, when I first learned about this Farfetch, I saw an article. These will all be linked down below, that was talking about how Richemont, which is the owner of Cartier, was not going to be injecting more cash into Farfetch. And so there was this kind of thing happening for about a week or so where people were talking about, you know, like what's going to happen with Farfetch. Well, a company, Coupang, I think is how you pronounce it, which is a South Korean company, has decided to enter an acquisition with Farfetch and will be giving them $500 million for this agreement. In the article that will be linked down below, it does talk a little bit more about that agreement. So I encourage you to read it, read all of it. So they will be acquiring Farfetch for $500 million, like I mentioned. And also what was interesting to learn as well in that article is that this is not the first company that obviously has given or invested a lot of money into Farfetch. The article also mentions that Richemont, which I already talked about, has previously given Farfetch money, as well as Alibaba. Didn't know about that one. And then also Kering. So it's very interesting that there are several companies, and now Coupang is now another one that is investing into Farfetch. So we'll have to see what happens with that. Next up on fashion news is going to be, we're talking about getting rid of these items that are pretending to be real. And you guys know what I'm talking about. So Gucci and Facebook are partnering together, and they are suing a company. Apparently this account, they didn't mention, at least I didn't notice in the article where they mentioned the name of the company. Okay, so in this article, it talks about Gucci and Facebook joining forces together to file a joint lawsuit against this company. They refer to the person as a she. So I don't know if there's more than one person that owns this company, but apparently they had several social media accounts, and they're going after this person for selling inauthentic goods. And so they gave some stats from 2020, what's interesting enough is that in 2020, at least from this tally, of course, this is going to be 4 years ago at this point, that they were able to remove 4 million product listings, seize 4.1 million products, as well as shut down 45,000 websites and questionable social media accounts. And that sounds like a large number, but if you can imagine, there's so many that go under the radar. There's so many accounts that pop up. Once one leaves, another one pops up. And I actually talked about that a little bit. I can't remember what video it was, but if I can find the video, I'll link it at the end so you can check it out. But yeah, so it's just interesting that just this one company, I guess, or companies that they're going after and suing, there are so many more out there. And this is a big problem that I don't know what's going to fix it or what's going to help it, but this is a big problem that gets bigger and bigger because technology is getting better and things look very close to the real thing, which is very interesting. There's have been several companies that have announced that they will like not authenticate certain products that are extremely popular because of how good the the items that are not authentic are to the real thing. So just very interesting to hear that. But it's interesting that I thought that I wanted to share with you guys that Gucci and Facebook are partnering together to sue a company that has sold a lot of goods that they should not have been selling. All right, let me know your thoughts down below. If you're at this point in the video, thank you so much for watching. Like I said at the beginning of the video, my name is India. I talk about fashion as well as lifestyle topics. I really encourage you to see a few other videos, even if you do not feel compelled to subscribe. at least please like this video. It helps out so much. It means so much to extremely small creators like me, as well as really large creators, for you to at least engage and like the video. When you like the video or comment and or both, it really does help our channels, and it really, really especially helps small channels like mine. So I really, really appreciate all of my supporters that I have, and I really want to ask that if you can please hit the like button, that will be greatly appreciated. And yeah, let's get back into the rest of the topic. So we're going to talk about the Arnault family. So Anthony, I hope is how you pronounce his name, Arnault, which is one of the children of Bernard Arnault, which is, if you're watching this video, you have heard of LVMH. If you have not, it is the company that owns a lot of luxury companies. So make sure you just Google a little bit, check that out. But anyway, he has children. His children are part of a lot of businesses that he has acquired through LVMH. And so one of his sons is stepping down from a company called Berluti. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly, as a CEO. I had never heard of this company before, so I had to do a little bit of searching. And so Berluti is actually a luxury menswear company, not menswear, but a luxury company for men, basically. So they initially started with shoes, and under his reign, he actually expanded the company to do ready to wear before he stepped down as CEO. So Jean-Marc Menselt, I will put the name down below. Sorry, I'm butchering it. Will be taking over in his place. And Arnault, interesting enough, the son that I'm talking about, he also had other roles. So he will be keeping those roles as the chairman of Loro Piano, which is a brand that has been all over social media, has been extremely popularized due to the little, whatever the name of that little vanity case bag that a lot of girls have been buying and posting. A lot of people have been buying that item, and the shoes, the boat shoes or whatever they're called. You guys know what I'm talking about. And then also vice chair and CEO with his sister, I believe, of Dior. So he will keep both of those roles, but just stepping down from Berluti, which is a shoe brand that also, like I said, has expanded out to ready to wear under his reign. And yes, pretty pricey. Check them out. All right. So next up on the list of fashion news is going to be Rent the Runway. It's so crazy because I forgot all about Rent the Runway. I remember it was really big and you saw it in the media. But all that to say that just because you're not hearing about a brand or hearing about a company and it's not plastered everywhere does not mean it's thriving and moving. And so this company has been, I would say, like under the radar as far as like social media sense goes for a little while. You haven't been hearing a lot about the company, but they have been thriving and pushing through. So kudos to them for coming into the market and inventing themselves and being able to stay around. It is a female founded company, so that is also amazing. So Rent the Runway, if you are not familiar with it, you can rent clothing pieces basically. Now they are launching a new aspect of their business called Vault, where pretty much similar concept to other things that you can rent, but these are going to be like kind of creme de la creme, very special, super high end pieces that also can be rented with this Vault launch. Now, under the Vault launch, it will feature 20 designers. Some of these designers have already been accessible through Rent the Runway. Also, there are some brands or designers that are brand new to Rent the Runway, and through the Vault, this is the first time that you're going to be able to rent a piece. And so some of those brands are Oscar de la Renta, Etro, and Brandon Maxwell. So definitely check out Rent the Runway if you have holiday parties, special events coming up. It's a great way to have a special piece, but not do the full investment of buying the gown and then not being able to wear it again. And I say not being able, you can wear whatever you want, however many times you want to. But this allows you to kind of switch it up a little bit. So the Vault is already live and ready. It started during the holiday season. And it says we're in January. holiday season was a month ago. The items that are available through the vault are going to be available for 4-day rentals as well as 8-day rentals. And the price range of those pieces are going to be $1,000 to almost $9,000, 8,900 to be exact. And so those rental rates will range from $30 to $400. So for a fraction, you can have a very special piece that you can rent, take your photos, send it back, and get you another piece. So definitely check out Rent the Runway. It was interesting in that article also that I read, they were talking about how, initially when Rent the Runway came along, people were thinking that like the luxury designers would feel like it devalued their brand or watered it down because now you can rent a piece versus a person that does not have that money to be able to purchase a piece. And I will say there are people that can afford to pay that amount of money, but they'd rather rent a piece for one time versus buying a piece. So it's not just people who can't afford to buy it that are doing this rental process. But back to my point where they were talking about how it may water down their brand and things like that. And so the article was going through how, it really has not been that way. Also, one of the mission of Rent the Runway is to have pieces that are accessible to women, especially for just one-time use pieces. Like, why spend $2,000 on a dress or a gown or a top that you're only going to wear one time when you can just spend a little bit of that money and then the rest of that money can go towards something else. And it does nothing to kind of devalue the luxury brand that you're renting from. It actually encourages more interest in it because you have a wide range of people, especially when you're talking about people who are younger and they've never had an Oscar de la Renta piece or never seen one in person before. And getting that experience of actually being able to rent one helps because when they get to their 40s or their 50s, they may jump into deciding to purchase ready to wear or other things like that from the brand. So maybe not a special gown, but it introduces them to the brand where then they could potentially become long range customers over time. So they talk about that as well as sustainability, obviously, because then you're recycling it and more people can wear it. So there's a lot of benefits of it. And basically they were just kind of dispelling the myth that it's watering luxury brands down by using it this way. And something to tout is that they have had several long-standing relationships or partnerships with designers throughout their entire 14 years. So that is amazing. Check out the article, definitely read it. And last up is going to be Banana Republic. So both Banana Republic, Gap, J. Crew, and we'll take Gap out of the picture, but more so Banana Republic and J. Crew have been very well-known staple brands that you can go to a mall and get, which is kind of a dying breed. Now you have these other companies that have come along, Mango and Zara and Aritzia, and kind of like these more stylish, better quality-ish, fast fashion type of brands that have come along that get a lot of attention. And so this article that will also be linked by Jennifer, I can't read my own handwriting. You'll see it. She basically went into both stores, J. Crew and Banana Republic, just to see kind of like both of these brands are brands that need to be revamped and are trying to find their identity now in this new age of retail, and how both of them are doing is more so what her article is talking about. I wanted to focus on Banana Republic because I've definitely been interested in Banana Republic and recently have gone back to looking at Banana Republic. So what's interesting is that Banana Republic is owned by Gap, if you did not know. And they have a CEO. Their CEO is Richard Dixon. Sorry. So their goal has been to increase the quality of the material, the fabric, and the clothing that Banana Republic has. And then also they've been trying to elevate the aesthetic. So if you haven't been in a Banana Republic or at least have gone on their website, what they've tried to do is kind of change up that view a little bit there. Seem more on the lifestyle brand of things. because of the fact that they are now also offering homeware pieces, pillows, things like that. And also they will start to, if they haven't already, start to, not fabric, furniture, the other F. Furniture is what they're also offering as well. And so I have noticed a significant increase in Banana Republic's prices. And so there are clothing items that they're trying to elevate more with their clothing pieces and use things like wool more and satin and silk, and also change up the style aesthetic. So it looks like there's also a mixture of what they're doing is incorporating kind of those elevated basics, and then also, which Banana Republic has been well known for, but then also adding a mixture of some of those statement pieces like a shearling coat or a silk dress or kind of an all satin dress. And I think they're doing a good job of kind of changing the style aesthetic of how you think about Banana Republic, both physically in the store, also their clothing styles that they're using, and getting people to try to get people to come back in. The jury's still out on whether or not it is successful, so we'll have to keep a watch on that. But I do kind of like some of the things that Banana Republic is doing to try to change their style aesthetic and get people more back into the stores or on the websites to grab pieces. They are higher end as far as pricing goes, so it's more of an investment piece really with Banana Republic's price point now, especially when you think about those other brands that I talked about that had ushered themselves in. They've kind of taken the place of kind of that price point that Banana Republic and J. Crew have had in the past. And now they have had to elevate themselves more to attract people back, but also to kind of differentiate themselves from a Zara, for example, and be more of a kind of higher end price point type of company. So they do still have good sales. There's a sale going on right now. I was looking at a piece, like one of the sweaters I was looking at the fabric composition, which I did talk about that. So I'll link that video at the end if I can remember. But for example, this kind of Mona oversized wool cotton sweater is really that wool and cotton, and that's all it's made out of, which is great. Those are two kind of natural fabrics. There was a dress that I was very interested in. Let me see what that one's made up of. It's sold out now. And it actually does seem that, you really can't wait till things go on sale anymore in Banana Republic, because things are, at least by the time I find out about them, they're gone. So that's something else to think about as well. For the most part, it does seem like Banana Republic is trying to kind of change up the way that things are manufactured, what they look like, the style of them, as well as the aesthetic of the store, which seems more personalized and elevated. If you haven't been in one, they have like a nice luxurious seating area in the front that is very inviting. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts on Banana Republic, also on all the other topics that I've talked about. Leave those comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.